We have two major developments in the case of Casey Anthony. The Attorney General's office says the Orange County judge was right to set her bond so high. Plus, a jail inmate says Casey told him what happened to her missing 2-year-old daughter. Good afternoon, I'm Barbara West.
I'm Vanessa Eccles. The mother of missing 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony wants an appeals court to step in and help her get out of jail. The 5th District Court of Appeals could rule any minute now on Casey Anthony's appeal to get her bond lowered. But this afternoon, the Attorney General's office says she deserved the $500,000 bond she received. Channel 9's Kathy Bellich begins our live team coverage at the jail with more on this inmate who says he spoke with Casey, plus what the Attorney General's office is saying. Kathy?
That's right. We actually have even newer information. We just heard minutes ago that the results of the psychological evaluation of Casey Anthony have been submitted to the 5th District Court of Appeal. The panel is reviewing it right now, deciding whether to release it and or whether to make any changes to her bond because of it. About an hour ago, as you just said, the Attorney General submitted its response to her request to have her bond lowered, and the Attorney General did argue that Circuit Judge Stan Strickland was correct in considering A, that she's been called a person of interest in her daughter's disappearance, B, that there was evidence of human decomposition in her car, and C, her unreliable employment history, among other things, in setting what he admitted was an unusually high bond of $500,000. Now, also this morning, a fellow inmate here at the jail says that when he and Casey Anthony were at a holding cell here yesterday morning, just before he was about to be released and she was about to head to court, they had a brief conversation, and he says she gave him a news story about where Kaylee is.
I was asking her where the baby was. She said, I don't have the baby. Her ex-boyfriend has the baby.
She said her ex-boyfriend has the baby now?
She didn't say where.
Did she say who that is?
No.
Is that all she said? And then did you ask her?
Yeah, and she started smiling and went in the cage and went into court.
What did you think of that when you...
I just wanted to jump at her because I don't really think she deserves to get out of jail.
Travis Nichols admits he was in jail after being accused of burglary and says he's not trying to use this information for his own gain because he doesn't believe what she told him is true. He says she's been changing her story left and right. The jail is checking records to verify that Nichols was in the holding area yesterday morning when Casey Anthony was. But if they were both there, the jail says it is possible that they exchanged words through the transparent dividers.
The only time they come in contact with each other or visibility contact is when they are in a situation like he's describing, transportation, or maybe in...
Now, we are still awaiting the jail's results of checking those records to make sure that these two were actually in the holding cell area at the same time yesterday morning. And we will keep on top of all of these developments for you and have much more later on Eyewitness News. Reporting live from the Orange County Jail, Kathy Bellich, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Casey Anthony's parents visited her at the jail this morning, and Cynthia Anthony says the pieces of the puzzle of what happened to little Kaylee are starting to come together. Channel 9's Daryl Nail continues our live team coverage from the Orange County Jail. And Daryl, what did the Anthonys have to say?
Well, when the Anthonys speak to the media, they generally keep it pretty vague and general. That was the case today, except for Cindy Anthony did go on to say that she believes she's pretty close to figuring out what happened to her granddaughter. The Anthonys arrived about 20 minutes early to the video visitation center. After they checked in with jail staff, Cindy Anthony talked about how she believes she's almost figured out why her 2-year-old granddaughter went missing.
I am really going to be, comparing notes with Lee, comparing notes with some other people, and I think I think I have a good understanding of what's going on.
But when pushed for specifics, the outspoken grandmother wouldn't go into any detail. We asked her if she thought it was possible Casey might have had a hand in the young girl's accidental death. She said she spoke to investigators about that.
We went through all those scenarios. We went through all those scenarios with with Sergeant Allen, and he pretty much, the things that we talked about, he pretty much ruled out.
The Anthonys spent about 45 minutes inside the visitation center, talking to Casey in jail by video conference. Afterwards, they left the visitation center with the same solemn appearance they went in with. While walking back to their car, Cindy says they didn't discuss Casey's case.
We didn't ask for any information except how she was feeling and what she wanted me to tell Kaylee, and she just continues to say she loves her with all her heart, and she feels that she's she's okay.
Now, per the judge's decision yesterday, that conversation between Casey Anthony and her parents was recorded, but no word as of right now from the jail or the sheriff's department on whether that conversation will be released to the media. We're live at the Orange County Jail. Daryl Nail, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
You can count on Channel 9 for any new developments in this newscast and throughout the day. Log on to WFTV.com for any updates. Plus, listen to the judge's ruling on Casey's motion on the home.